Today we are going to learn about filename pattern and regex in Mirth Connect. This would be very easy when we get the requirements of filtering out a .csv file or .txt file or any specific files, but it will become very complex when you get the complex client requirements. So I'll be explaining from very foundations to the complex scenarios, so it would be very easy to follow from scratch to end. So after this session, you will be able to build any complex scenario of file name filtering pattern that would be helpful for you. And even I'll be giving multiple scenarios in my GitHub so you can practice and use as required. So let's go to our Mirth Connect. Over here, I built a very basic channel to pick a file in this particular location over here. What I'll do, I'll go to my channels, I'll click on the file picker, I'll click on the source. So I just gave my directory, which is nothing but this particular directory. I'll copy it and I'll paste it over here, testing the connection. So the connection has been tested successfully. Now the mirth will look something like this when you create a new channel. Ignore all this things over here. You can keep whatever you want as per the requirement. I'll keep it as 1 second as we want to test it. So don't do any changes over here. Let it be as it is. Or else, for our understanding, what we'll do, we'll take it as a channel reader first and come back to file reader. So it will give us all new settings, the default settings. Perfect. Now I'll click on the directory and test it. Now it looks good, all fresh and neat, right? But I want to change it as 1 second for our testing purpose. Now see, we'll start with the very basic things. File name filter pattern. So over here, I have multiple files. Whenever you give this particular star, it will filter out any particular file and send it to the destination. Means it can have the scope of picking any particular file from this particular location. Now let's go ahead and test it. I'll save the changes and I'll deploy it. So we have 0 count over here, and automatically this will be starting. Yeah, perfect. I'll refresh it. You can see the file has been picked automatically. All these files have been picked. Now what I'll do, I'll go to channels, I'll go to file picker, I'll go to source. Now this has been a very basic concept. Now we'll see how we can filter out like .csv file or .txt files. What I'll do, I'll give it as .txt. Okay, and I'll save it, and this should pick only .txt file. For our understanding purpose, what I'll do, I'll just remove this from here. Okay, and I'll copy these files in some other different location. I'll create a new folder where I'll copy these files. No problem. So here you can see there are no files over here. I'll save the changes. So it should pick from this test date folder. I'll deploy the channel. Perfect. Now we can see it should pick any .txt file in this particular location. So you can see the count is 99. It is not changing because we don't have any .csv file over there. Perfect. But when I paste a .txt file, automatically it should pick it up, and it should have some content over it. Yeah, I'll give something like ball, cat. Not a problem. I'll save this file and I'll copy this over here. Perfect, right? Now this should automatically change from 99. So it will be reading the .txt file. So as it is not reading, we look into it. What mistake we have done? We kept it as .txt. That looks good. We'll go to channel. So the mistakes are very prone over here, and we gave the file name filter pattern as .txt and the directory as test date. That's perfect. We'll go to our Mirth Connect dashboard and look over here. Still it is not filtering. So every time we do a tutorial, we try to do some mistakes. So even the people who are watching it, they will also face the same mistakes. The mistake is like over here in the channels, when I'll go to the file reader source, so giving just .txt is not enough. We should give the star back. So anything after this particular star, which has .txt file, it will read it. For example, we have .txt. So anything before that particular .txt, this particular filter will ignore it. Now we will give the .txt. I have cleared all the number of details over here. I cleared it. So now we will refresh it. So it should read it. As our directory is connected to the path, see, the details have been read. Now what we'll do, we will just delete this and see whether it's reading or not. We'll go back and refresh. After 3, it will not read it because we have removed this file. So similarly, what we'll do, we'll go back and put something like .csv, and we will see if the .csv is getting read or not. Now we'll deploy the channel. Remember the count, it is 3 over here, but to run it fast, as for the testing purpose, I'll keep it as 1. So for each and every second, it should read it. I'll deploy the channel. It will not read because our folder doesn't have any .csv file. Okay, remember the count. Once I keep the CSV file, it will start reading it. I'll go ahead and keep some random CSV file in it. I'm just pasting it over here. Perfect, right? I'll go ahead and refresh it. See, it started reading. Means our basic .csv and .txt is getting read. Similarly, if you want to read any .xml, you need to use this. You need to give a star before. Okay, we'll note down each and everything over here. You need to give a star. Similarly, for XML, you need to give a star. So for every file which you want to read it as .csv or .txt, .xml, just give a star and read it. But now the more complex scenario will start arising, and we'll try to deal how to solve this particular thing. Now we'll go to our channels and we'll see how the complex scenarios can be solved. We'll go to source. We'll create one scenario like the client requirement is read only files which named with alphabets. Okay, so the client is naming the particular file with the name of alphabets. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and rename this uh, particular file. I'll copy this. Okay, I'll paste it over here. I'll delete this. So for example, our client has named this file with the patient name, and we need to pick this file. So it has been named as patient name. So there are a lot of other files which are named in the specific folder with different names. Imagine it as a number 2, 4, 5, 6, and it shouldn't get picked up. Okay. So the client says only the patient name file should be picked up, not all other files. Now we need to write something to work on it. We'll go to this particular destination, and what we'll do, we'll start using regex over here. I'll go ahead and copy one of the regex over here. Before that, I'll say I'll be using this. So this regex, what it will do, anything with the name of A to Z capital letters or large letters, it should filter out. So I'll go ahead and copy it over here. Remember, even that should be the txt files. Before working on it, what I'll do, I'll remove this particular file, okay, to make sure it's not filtering it out. Perfect. So now you can see all the file names contains the numbers. So the patient name doesn't have numbers, means this file should not be picked up. So we'll try two scenarios, which should be picked up and which shouldn't be picked up. So we gave the regex over here. The most important thing, I don't want to consume time, so I'll just tell it I don't want to do mistake again. So you need to click on regular expressions because you are giving this dollar sign over here. At that time only the regular expression works. We'll save it and deploy it. You can see the count is 96 and it will not get increased because each and every time this will go to this particular directory and tries to read it, but it have the number over here. Our regex will only work with the name of alphabets, not the numbers. So what we'll do, we'll copy a file name without any number and it should start reading. You can see the count is 96, it is not getting increase. Once we paste the file over here, it should get increase. See, automatically it's picking up the file. You got it right. For every 1 second, it's picking up the file and it's working very fast. Now the count is around 105. We'll delete this file. Okay, I'll delete it and we'll go back. So at the time when I deleted it, it was 111. Now it will not pick the file. Means our particular regex to pick only with the patient name, okay, is working perfect. Now we will come with another scenario. I'll just highlight it for our understanding. Okay. Now we'll do something like it only picks the numbers. Okay. What I'll say, the file contains only numbers, not words, like the MRN number, MRN number. So the client is saving the file with the MRN number and it doesn't contain any alphabets or words. So in this scenario, what we are going to use is like we will give the regex of this particular sentence. So remember, this you can learn easily with some YouTube regex tutorials. It will be available, so you can create your own tutorials, own regex by using regex 101 website. So I'll give everything in the YouTube description. You will learn it easily. So currently, don't think what are all these alphabets. It is very, very easy. Here it says from small a to small z, capital A to capital Z. Here the D means are nothing but the numbers. So you don't need to get confused. All these cheat codes are available online. You can keep a cheat code. You don't need to remember every time. You can go to the cheat code and do all the changes. Now I'll copy this. And you can see there are like multiple files over here. And we will go ahead to the source file picker and we will add this particular regex. Okay, which is nothing but pick only numbers. We will save this. We will deploy this. Remember, the count is 111. It will not change because the files are here not only with the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even with the different names like the alphabets. So the file will not pick anything. It will not pick anything. So what we'll do, we will rename it with the number, some random number, 1, 2, 3, 4. So run some random number. Automatically, when we rename it, it should pick up. So currently we'll see the count, it's 111. I'll just rename it. Perfect. So it should pick up. I'll see. When I refreshed, automatically it's picking up the file. So what we'll do, we'll delete it and see whether it's working perfectly in all scenarios or not. Now when I deleted it, it got stuck in 127. It's not picking up the file. Means our regex to use by only the numbers is working fine. So you might be saying MRN number is restricted to particular specific numbers. It shouldn't exceed the particular count. For example, you say it should have only 7 numbers. Again, the client says I have a lot of files over here with different digits of numbers. For example, this contains more than 10 digits. My MRN number is around 7 or 8. So I only want that particular file to be picked up. So little bit more complex. MRN number with only 7 digits. When we go to more complex scenarios, this would be very, very dead easy scenarios. So currently we'll go slow. So what I'll do, I'll use this particular regex for that particular scenario. So I'll copy this regex. So you can see in the previous scenario it was D means all the numbers. Over here D with 7 means you should understand what it should do. I'll go to my channels. I'll go to file picker, source, and I'll copy this. Now I'll save this and deploy it. You can see the count is around 187 now. It will not increase because it is checking only for 7 digits. What I'll do, over here there are different files. I'll just copy it. Perfect. I'll rename one file with the 7-digit number, any 7-digit number. For our understanding, what I'll do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, before renaming it, I'll just come over here and see the count is 187. I'll go back. Yeah, it has been renamed. Now I'll start refreshing it. See, the file is getting picked up. Mean, even though there are like multiple files with different names with different numbers, my client requirement is only to filter out on the base of MRN. So they will save the 7-digit file with the MRN number. So automatically that is being picked up. Once I delete that file, it will not work. Means this condition is working. So we can say MRN with 7-digit. So if you want 8-digit, automatically you need to change this to 8 over here. It will work fine without any issues. So you can control it. So I'll give as many as samples so you can work it without any issues. Now we'll cover few more scenarios which will help us. As of now, yep, it looks good. The count is 237. It's still picking up. I'll just stop it so it will not pick up more. Now we'll see another scenario. So one of my clients says it should be picked up in the format of month, year, date. For example, something like this. They are saving the files with the date pattern, like it's 0115 and 1990. So they are saving the files with this pattern. To be more clear, I'll just write down the template. They are saving in the pattern of this particular way, month, date, and year. So they are saving on this particular destination, and they want to pick up only the file which has all the details regarding this particular date, means in this pattern. So they don't want any other file. So they want all these backslashes. And we can write a simple regex to pick up this file. What I'll do, I'll copy and paste the regex over here. It might look big, but if I explain it, it's very easy. You can see any numbers 0 to 1 to 9. Okay, again 0 to 2. You can see for this particular M, you can go with this 1 to 9 digits. It's nothing but this position. For this particular M, again you can go with this particular details over here. So as it is month, the numbers will not exceed any particular number, so they are giving it. So again a backslash over here. Again for the particular day, for this particular section, they are giving from 1 to 9. Again for this particular number, they are giving this detail. So it's very easy. So you might be looking at it as a complex thing. Once you learn regex, it would be very easy. So that would be a separate session explaining all this. Now let's go to our section and see whether this is going to work or not. Now we'll go ahead and to the channels. We will paste this. Remember, this is very easy concept. So you don't need to worry about all this. You don't need to even remember. Even if you Google it, you will get all this regex patterns available. I'll save it. Now the count is 249. It will not pick any particular file. That's amazing. Now let's change the date and see if it is working. We will give the same pattern. For example, I'll give some date. 03 means March. I'll give the backslash. Okay, I'll rename it. Now we got some interesting error. We give 03 backslash. See, it says a file name can't contain any of the following characters. That's amazing. So our regex it by default is not correct. What I'll do, I'll edit the regex. Now I'll rename it in the way of 03 month, and date is nothing but March 21st and the year 2024. Perfect, right? Now you ask me how to change the regex. We just gave hyphens in the place of backslashes or forward slashes. Now we'll go. By default, it will not pick up and our regex will not work. Now we'll work in the reverse process and change the regex to our understanding. So we'll go to the file name pattern over here. What I'll do, I'll remove the forward slashes and I'll give the hyphen. And let's see whether this works. Okay, this would be really interesting if it works. I'll copy everything. I'll save it. I'll deploy the channel and I'll keep refreshing it. So we have done a small error over here because this is not working. Now we'll troubleshoot and solve this problem. So the new regex would be looking something like this. Means you have a digit over here, again a hyphen, again a digit, two digits over here, again an hyphen, again four digits over here. Means this two digits hyphen, two digits hyphen, and again this four digits. And you might be thinking why the above was complex and why the below was very easy. Because regex can be written in many different forms. A simple regex can be written in 100 different forms. So you don't need to focus on whether the regex is correct or not. You need to focus on how many ways you can write it and look it very simple. So over here, when you focus, even I didn't give a .txt to filter. Over here, I didn't give it, but over here I gave it. So this should work. So you can see our file is in .txt format and we are not giving a .txt over here. So of course there will be some troubles when you are working with regex, but you need to be very focused. You will learn it. I'll copy this. I already copied it anyhow. I'll make sure I'll copy it again and see whether the file is getting picked or not. And remember, don't give any extra space like this when you're copying it. Just make it simple. I'll save the changes and I'll deploy it. Let's see if the file is getting picked up. Now see, automatically the number count is changing because this particular file is getting picked up from here. What we'll do a small change to this. Okay, we will not give any, yeah, we'll change the pattern and see whether it's getting picked up. Absolutely, it will stop because it will only pick up a file which is in this particular pattern, meaning the regex is stopped working. So remember, for every regex by default you should give this dollar symbol. For every regex you need to give the .txt, .csv, .xml, whatever the files you are putting, and in between you need to give the code logic. So it always starts with the, the caret symbol over here. So everything in between this both, okay, will be the logic over here. I think we'll take some more time and we'll work on more regex so you'll get more insights. So we will write a regex for email address. So what I'll do, I'll directly copy the pre-written regex which I have, and you don't need to spend more time writing it in future. So we are going to use this particular regex and see how it's going to work. And remember, we need to always give .txt if it's .txt. So I'll give it as .txt or else it will not work. That's perfect. I'm going to copy this regex. Again, you can see it doesn't have many differences. You can see A to Z or capital A to Z. If by mistake we are going to give it in capital A to Z, the email address. So it includes dot hyphen percentile, all the details. Again, at the rate is important over here. And again, gmail.com or any other .com, we have all the details over here from 1 to Z. Again, you have dot over here for .com or .in. You have anything. You got it right. So you don't need to look much into it. I'll go ahead again in the source, sorry, in the channels, again in the file picker, the source. I'll give this particular regex and make sure I copied it perfectly. Save changes, deploy it. The count is 271 and it will not work because we don't have any files with that name. Now we'll go here and give a name for the particular file. Rename apple.ball at the rate of gmail.com. Okay, and at the end I gave .txt file. Perfect. Now let's see if it is picking up. 277. Perfect. It's saying 278. Means if the client created the file on the name on the base of any Gmail ID also it works. For example, I want to do something else. Let's see. Even this is an experiment. apple.ball.cat.doc at the rate of gmail.com.txt. Now let's see. Perfect. So even if you have multiple dots in your system, it's going to work. Now I'll do something else. Rather than dot, I'll give something like Yep, whatever hyphen or anything which is in your gmail.com, it will be working. Now even the Gmail ID works. So I created like multiple regex, which will be really helpful for you. For example, I'll just let you know. So in my GitHub, the YouTube name of this particular video, I gave all the different types of regex from basics, which you can practice, and all the real-time scenarios. I'll be adding few more regex in future, but this would be enough to practice your basic scenarios. That would really help. Even I'll give this link in the YouTube description. You can come here and copy and practice multiple regex. Sorry if there is any disturbance in the video. I have to pause multiple times because there was a background disturbance, but I hope you were able to understand the regex scenarios. If not, when you practice with the scenarios, you will be able to understand. And remember, these are .txt files over here at the top, which I have given, but over here I didn't give .txt, so that would be left to you whether you want to add .txt or .csv file over here. That would really help. Thank you.